from east to west, heroes are set, seeking glory in the greatest of events. There are knights on noble steeds, those who will bring them to their knees. There are monsters to test their mettle at every turn. Legends will rise based on their merits. There's even pirates riding parrots. It's the grand tournament.
Welcome back, everyone, to the SLTV StarSeries Hearthstone Season 1. For those of you who just tuned in, we just casted Cypher versus Shtanudachi, and Stan moved on. Cypher is relegated to the losers bracket, and I think the next match is pretty exciting.
Yeah, can't get much better than this. Both of these players are like some of my favorites. Like, Firebat is one of my favorite players to watch. He really makes some interesting decisions, which are usually like can be some like next level or not that obvious plays that really like tend to work out very well. He thinks really far ahead in terms, and he has very good game knowledge of the of all the decks. Really, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's capable of playing all the decks out there, and
yeah, that's what fascinates me most, I think, about the guys that... And I'm accused, whenever I talk about Firebat, people are like, oh, Noxious is a Firebat fanboy, stop being all over him like he's the best player. But he really understands every deck and how to counter them. And I think, having to learn a deck and counter other decks gives you knowledge as to how to play it. So whenever he ends up picking up a deck, he has very good knowledge, whatever it is that he takes to a tournament, which probably explains why he's playing Paladin right now. He was actually saying that Paladin wasn't that great when we talked at ATLC, or he talked to a few people, but it turns out that he was converted to the light, I guess. Makes sense.
Yeah, it's interesting to see him bring it out here. I think that Paladin was one of the kind of winners of the new expansion, especially because of Murloc Knight. Well, also Mysterious Challenger, all the strategies involving that one. But even the existing Paladin, like mid-range lists, got a huge boost from Murloc Knight. So I think the class is kind of well-positioned right now.
Yeah, we saw Strifecrow with a mid-range Paladin in ATLC. Firebat could bring a mid-range, of course, it makes a bit of sense. But overall, people would tend to agree that it's easier to steal games with Secret. And there's also the fact that it's... Like, some people say the Secret Paladin is cheap, but the truth is that Patron is kind of reigning on I guess, uncontested at the top, and you've got Paladin right behind. The only difference is Paladin is a lot easier to play. A lot easier to play. You just mostly make a few decisions per game. Your draw either works or it doesn't, and sometimes that's why people feel like it's so cheap.
I think we hyped up Firebat enough, but his opponent, Thijs, also like one of the best known pros out there. I would tend to say so.
Yeah.
He's been around for a long time and always plays pretty flawless. Firebat more often makes plays that I'm like a little bit kind of confused about, like good plays, but plays that I don't fully can follow. But Thijs, on the other hand, like when I watch him play, it's like he's one of the most flawless players in some sense. Like you really cannot spot anything that would be like anyhow considered a mistake often.
Yeah, whenever he plays Freeze Mage, and I think this is true of both these players. Firebat and Thijs are both amazing Freeze Mage players. You see them play the deck, and they're going to be playing their outs for 3 to 4 turns back to back. And they will win, of course, some of their worst matchups just because of these small decisions. Can I afford dropping the Acolyte of Pain now instead of holding on to it for maybe turn 5 where I get to ping it? And that's a ridiculous decision. It sounds ridiculous, but it changes everything when you're playing a deck as fickle as Freeze Mage.
Yeah, both of the players mid-mage here. Definitely both of the players are capable of playing other decks too. Yeah. But I would imagine that it's very likely that these decks are going to be Freeze. Yeah. I wouldn't rule out mechs at all, because mech has been on the rise lately, but Freeze is very likely.
I think Firebat on mech, I would see. Thijs, however, has really a lot of experience and a huge preference for the mech. So is that a demon handlock we're looking from Thijs here? That's my guess. His teammate, Life Coach, has been playing a lot of that. And Firebat with the Paladin.
I don't really like Firebat's hand right now. Mysterious Challenger, yeah, I mean, it's 6 mana. It's not like the greatest card to have in the starting hand, but he doesn't even have any secrets. Oh, there's a secret. Secrets are something that you usually don't want to draw naturally. Something like Avenge can work fine at times, maybe Redemption if you can set it up right. But you don't want to be drawing too many of those.
I like Noble Sacrifice in my hand, but it is the only one that I like in my hand, because if you think about it, it's like somebody drops a big threat, you pay 1 mana and you buy a free turn. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, like my favorite probably is Redemption sometimes, situationally. Like for example, if you can play it early on and then set it up with something like maybe Shielded Minibot. Sometimes your opponent is forced into weird situations where it's really hard to like completely answer it. Because you can't, like, if you kill it, well, it's just gonna come back and you have to kind of kill it twice again because of the Divine Shield.
So Thijs here faced with a really weird decision because he wants to kill the Juggler with double coil, but if he does that, then it's a redemption, then he just ends up being punished, and if it's competitive spirit, he's even more punished.
Yeah, I think Thijs is in a lot of trouble here. This is a bad matchup to begin with for the Warlock, because it's really hard to like kind of keep up with the Paladin, and it's impossible to play around the potential Divine Favors. And not only that, but the draw that Firebat has here, it's definitely one of the better ones I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, even if you owl here, it doesn't accomplish much, so you have to almost giant and hope it works, but it might just not do anything. Like, there's a chance that he just ignores it and pushes face. You don't have Molten.
Yeah.
He could try to represent them, or at least assume that Firebat will play around them, which I think could be a reasonable expectation. If you think Firebat's gonna have, I think he's gonna want to play around the Molten.
Really rough, but he doesn't even have those Molten Giants for the swing turn that he will desperately need. Thijs will need to find some kind of play to kind of turn things around. That could be Molten Giants with Taunt, or it could be like something like a Shadow Flame, but he just has none of it right now.
Firebat is possibly trading the Juggler away, the reasoning probably being that he puts his eggs all in one basket with the Argent Spire. And if he trades here, he also plays around Molten, right? Whereas if you push face, you might just die to Molten.
Right, yeah, Molten is definitely a consideration here. It would be a huge problem if something like a Molten and a Shadow Flame happened.
Yeah, like you're okay with a single Molten here, probably. Which is what Thijs can play.
Like, it's like Molten with Taunts or Molten Shadow Flame. Those would be kind of the nightmare situations.
Alright, so let's see. Thijs picks up another 8/8 for 4 mana, you know, sounds balanced. He's gonna taunt himself up, I have no doubt here, because he can always get the Void Caller, Sun Fury on the following turn as well.
Yeah, and he has another Taunt Giver in his hand as well, so that helps a lot. Because when you only have one Sun Fury, only one Taunt Giver in your hand, you gotta be careful when you use it, because after that you just might not top deck the second one in time. But here, no issue, he has the second one.
Wow, this Void Caller into Sun Fury looks even better now. Because you just picked up the Mal'Ganis.
Yeah, that was a huge pickup from Thijs.
Yeah, even if there's a Repentance, right? Even if.
Yeah, Repentance, it's not that great against that. I could imagine, like, the Thijs is not out of this just yet. That Mal'Ganis was very important to find right now, right here.
Yeah, so... Is there ever a moment where you don't play Void Caller Sun Fury? Like, I have to assume it's too good to pass. I mean, you killed a 6/6, right?
I wouldn't be shocked if he played the Owl and the Squire. Like, there's so much value. That 5/4 with Divine Shield, so he could go something like
Right, Owl double coil works out.
No, I think like a Void Caller into Owl, maybe.
Okay, I could see that. That makes sense. You're getting that Void Caller out right now, and you're not at risk of dying, necessarily.
Yeah, Repentance completely wasted. That's some of the downsides. People tend to like think of like, oh, free secrets and they are so amazing and so much value, but that's the downside of the secrets. Like, they are not all that powerful always. You might get a good one sometimes with Repentance, you might land it on a giant, but like we see here, 0 value from the Repentance.
I still think Repentancing the Void Caller was okay.
Like, intentionally?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
But
I mean, it would have kind of worked out, I suppose. The entire board would have had to like trade for it.
yeah, I mean, it's gonna work out better for him in this case, but I think you
I
could
guess.
defend that play. Oh man, that's weird.
Oh.
So you
That's
don't want to
really
Hellfire. I mean, you trade and you double coil with Healbot. That looks really solid to me, right?
Oh yeah, that's really good. I mean, the Hellfire is like, doesn't work out that well here. Double coil, or like, oh man.
Yeah, these coils are looking pretty sweet, unless you want to be immune from the Hellfire. I mean, he can just Hellfire double coil and still be okay, because he's taking 0 damage, and the odds of Firebat having Owl into True Silver plus Consec like back to back, yeah, it's pretty slim.
That's really interesting. So he's thinking about the Hellfire here. I think it's just like, like I don't think he needs the Hellfire necessarily, but I can understand that too, because he does get the full clear, and the Mal'Ganis is still gonna be there.
Yeah, good luck.
Doesn't take any damage to his own face. I like it. Yeah.
Forces a True Silver from his opponent every time.
Yeah, and it's not there.
Glory to the Sindori.
So Dice against the, I would say against all odds, he kind of managed to stabilize this one, and now he's way ahead.
Yeah, but you've got to be a little scared here. Like, you have to still play defensively to an extent.
Right.
Do you play Void Caller and Sun Fury just the Void Caller here? It's gonna be huge, right? It's gonna be a 4-6 wall with Mal'Ganis up.
It is pretty big, you're right. Oh, wow. That's interesting, but do you want it on the board? I guess you do.
Yeah, it can kill a 3-3 Lotheb, which just kind of kills itself. It's a 5-6. It kind of kills itself on the Void Caller, not a 4-6.
Right. Because also, if he just went for like a heal bot, you gotta play it. Oh wow, that's a great pickup. But it's not as amazing as we would think, because there's still the 9-1 Mal'Ganis, which kind of gets an easy trade.
Look at that Jiraxxus, man. Immune with a weapon activated. That's really sick.
Wow.
Do you take it though? Is there any other play that you want to make?
I don't know. I think it's an option to like kind of pull it on the board too, but probably do want to play it from the hand here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty amazing.
If I use Mal'Ganis, if I use Jiraxxus though, I'm not trading Mal'Ganis first, because I'd like to be immune for the attacks, so he might consider just anti-heal bot defender.
You're right, but he can't swing at the boombot with that, because the boombot might land with the Mal'Ganis. So, but he could Jiraxxus and hit the Silverhand Recruit first.
Right. Just get a free kill in the 1-1 and...
Yeah. Okay.
That's still in a pretty good position, all things considered, because Firebat's only out is basically a Divine Favor into runner, good cards to seal the game. It's not that likely to
Seems like
happen.
he's trying to get the Jiraxxus on the board as a minion.
That could be fine against the Paladin. I mean, if there's no repentance, it might be fine.
Yes, it's not too bad. But healing back to 15, I mean, that would have been pretty good. It probably doesn't matter how he goes about this. He should be fine, regardless. I wouldn't have hated if he just played the Jiraxxus from his hand either. Like, just replace your hero with that. Keep that Taunt Cure and like.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Oh, here we go. Unstoppable wall.
Yeah.
The moment he wants to taunt this up, there's nothing Firebat can do to go through unless he's playing equality in that deck.
I don't think so. I don't think there's an equality. There could be, but it's unlikely. It's not very common in this type of list.
Alright, 5 damage to Smork.
Yeah. Not quite enough.
Yeah, now Divine Favor is looking worse and worse by the second.
Yeah, absolutely. I like it how Dice plays the Watcher next to the Jiraxxus. He knows that he wants to taunt up those two.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty heads-up play. Well, nice hit. So just trade the boombots away and then wall up.
The victory is his. That's just
Firebat knows when it's over, and he doesn't want to bother with this anymore.
Wow. Was it that Mal'Ganis pick up?
I think the Mal'Ganis did a little bit of work this game, I think. That was
Sure did.
Pretty good top deck from Thijs, so it's a really solid draw. Firebat, he's got a secret pally, we know that. Thijs knows that. He's got his own. Thijs has his mage. Typically, Freeze Mage beats Secret Paladin most of the time, but we did see a Lotheb in Firebat's secret pally.
Yeah, this was a good example of why a lot of players tend to go for the demon variant of the handlock nowadays. Like those type of swing turns, getting that Mal'Ganis out there with just the insane value from the Void Caller. 4 mana, 3/4, and get like from the first one he gets a Mal'Ganis, from the second one like Jiraxxus. Like those swing turns, that's just crazy. And it's probably the way to go if you want to play a handlock. This type of version of it is most likely the most viable one in the meta.
Yeah, I'm looking at Firebat's Paladin, and I'm kind of disappointed it's not the Stranglethorn Tiger OTK. Have you seen that with the? Well, of course you've seen it probably. He just buffs it up with Seal of Champions to protect it from AoE, and
Really?
then he just OTKs the opponent eventually in the game. It's like it's a combo deck. It's
I
kind of
actually
funny.
have not seen that, but it
Oh
sounds
man,
really cool.
El Tigre. You haven't seen El Tigre in action.
I have not
Oh
seen it,
man.
but I have to look it up after this.
Yeah, that
It's
might be
amazing.
your next stream. So
Maybe.
the Druid from Thijs, very classic. I don't expect him to stray away from what works and has worked for him in the past. He's amazing at drawing wild growths.
Oh yeah, Dice gets it every time. He knows how
Yeah.
to get it in the starting hand.
My magic will
That's what
tear
separates
you
the good
apart.
good Druid players from the bad ones. Like how good are you at starting with wild growth?
Oh, are we looking at a control mage from Firebat?
Interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't look like control completely, but I look at this Flame Strike, and I'm thinking maybe he's playing a dragon type of mage. Sorcerer's kind of off though, like it doesn't really fit that deck.
It could still be like a tempo thing with just like a splashed in
Flame Strike. Yeah, that's what I'm assuming at this stage. Yeah, it definitely looks like that. So Thijs, he's got the Lothab. That's a really big edge in the matchup, but the counter spell on Firebat's side is also pretty sweet.
These are some interesting decks right here.
Yeah, they seem to be a little different than what you expect from ladder. Like
Oh, yeah.
when you look at the deck list straight up. Dreadsteed. This is actually really good for 1 mana.
Wait, what?
He picked up a Dreadsteed from Unstable Portal. This could just be game ending right there.
Can you, if you cast Arcane Missiles, is it possible to hit it 3 times?
I have no idea, but I want to figure it out. I want to know this right now. Thijs
I
is
think that
laughing.
it respawns between the missiles, but I'm not. Maybe it doesn't.
I don't think
that's-
it does. I don't think
No,
it does.
I don't. No,
Because the
it
spiders
can't.
don't spawn, right, when they
Yeah.
get bought.
Because I think I've seen that with Piloted Shredder. Because if Piloted Shredder is at 1 HP, and then you Arcane Missiles, it only hits it once. Like it doesn't damage the death roll minions. So unfortunately, I guess we're not gonna see Arcane Missiles from the Dreadsteed 3 times. But it's still it's pretty funny.
It's really scary though, because that 1/1 is basically like a second ping for
Yeah.
Thijs. For the entire game, he's got an extra damage on his
For the
skill file.
remaining of the game, he's gonna get one free damage from that every turn.
Yeah,
That's insane.
that looks like a pretty good amount of value.
That's so incredible because you would normally think that what a bad card. Like, oh my, just a 1/1, but when you get it out this early, it's gonna do some heavy lifting over the next 10 turns or however long this is gonna go.
Yeah, so he's got the Flame Waker. He's got a good reason to actually try the Arcane Missiles to kill the Sorcerer's Apprentice. There's a good chance it dies. The Dreadsteed does not, in fact, respawn, but he
Yeah.
might hit the second hit from the Flame Waker, and it does! Oh, Dreadsteed MVP.
This is really happening.
And the Frostbolt for 1 with the Dreadsteed to kill the 2/4.
Oh man.
Here we go, Thijs. Just show us some esports, okay? That's it. There we go.
Yeah.
This is, ladies and gentlemen, what Unstable Portal does to Hearthstone. Alright, well, that was, like, a really good game.
This is okay. GG.
It's not over yet, but
No,
it's looking dangerous.
But it's hilarious. Like that's probably the most memorable Dreadsteed I've seen ever. Like I'm gonna remember that one for a long time. It's hilarious.
And Lothar is going to fall down to lock removal out of Firebat's options, and we'll probably have a trade into the Scientist and then attack the 1/1 to the face. Very dangerous board though for Firebat to handle, because he's got to play a Drake into basically nothing.
Was it necessary to kill off the Scientist? Like what was that? Why would you? Why do you kill it? Because you have the load effect up. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's a reason, but like why do you kill that? Like it's like 4 missed damage kind of. What can the Scientist do?
Frostbolt. Yeah, that's a question. Like, what does the Scientist actually do here?
Yeah, because like there isn't like Frostbolt is not available, so you can't like Frostbolt the front half the Shredder and then like trade for the thing.
Oh, well, hello there.
Wow.
Siege Engine. Come on, Doomsayer. Oh.
Not quite. That would have been a little bit too much.
Now it's Firebat's turn to get a Dreadsteed. I'll just do it, Firebat.
I think it is a Deathwing at this point.
Oh, I'll take a Deathwing. I mean, it's probably going to be that Unstable Portal turn anyway, because
Yeah.
You could consider Frostbolting and Arcane Missiling to kill the Flame Waker. Because you are cleaning up the board a bit more that way. But
Yeah, I think we're gonna see that. Like Frostbolt first, so you don't like waste hits on the Flame Waker. What else?
unless you just play
Counterspell?
Counterspell, yeah, I was gonna say unless you just play Counterspell and you threaten Mirror Entity.
Ooh, that actually kind of works as a bluff here.
Yeah, but
Because if
Dice
he knew
smells
what
the lethal.
Yeah. But if he knew what secret that was, he could have just like dropped down the Nidus. But it's still so much damage. He has the 1 extra spell power from the Geomancer, and he gets the 2 extra damage from the Flame Waker. So that was effectively 9 damage fireball right there.
What wins the game from Unstable? I can't really think of anything.
No, like, I'm like trying to figure it out, but I don't think there's anything really.
Definitely not a raid leader.
No, raid leader definitely not gonna do it.
Yeah.
I don't really think that there was anything. Some kind of heal thing to like prolong the game and then get like ridiculous.
Tyrion would have worked. It would have been an 8. It would have been a 6/6 for 8. He could have played it for 5 mana. That would have worked.
Good. Like maybe delayed the game a little bit. I'm still not sure if it would have been enough to win it, because like all Thijs needs is one spell for the Archmage. But yeah, like right now, 1 damage off. The ping is gonna seal it up, even if there was a taunt.
And Flame Strike
that's not
not
gonna
going
do it.
to wipe the board, so Thijs takes the lead 2-0 over Firebat, who's like, what is this joke Steak thing? Why do people have this card?
That's he got to play. It was turn 3 when he played it, right? And like,
Yeah.
obviously still there on turn 8 or 9. Like, wow.
Yeah. The horse is doing a lot of work at winning these games, so Thijs, with the Druid left, it's the type of deck that, even though it might have bad matchup, is still capable of taking wins against anything.
Oh yeah, Thijs is looking so good right now with the Druid. The Mage might be a difficult matchup. I think that the Firebat might do the Mage first. That's the hardest one for Thijs.
Yeah, I think you're right. A Secret Paladin isn't exactly easy either, but you can sometimes get away with it. Warrior could be difficult, but I think it's overall maybe your better matchup from Firebat's lineup.
But I wanted to point it out that we seen 2 secrets from Firebat, and neither one of those was Mirror Entity. We saw Effigy and Counterspell. I wonder if he is even playing Mirror Entity.
I mean, if you're playing Mad Scientist, would you play, 3 to 4 different secrets? It might be a little too big of a spread.
Yeah.
I think the threat of the Mirror Entity makes your opponents slow down and lose their own tempo, and then you can bank on Effigy and Counterspell.
Right. I mean, he could still have a Mirror Entity mixed in, but I'm really curious about the Effigy and how it's gonna work out.
Hey, with Ronin, it works out. If you get
or-
Drakes, yeah, like the thing is, nobody ever kills Ronin for some reason. They're like, oh, whatever.
Who is playing on Thijs' account? He doesn't have a wild growth.
I think he used up all his wild growth RNG in ATLC.
That could be, or he's saving it for like the next 2 games. He figures that okay, well, this is gonna be a hard matchup anyway, so my Jets will not show it here, and he'll show it in a good one. But it's like really bad for him right now. He needed that wild growth or the Tornasus Aspirant.
Yeah, you gotta feel a little scared though.
Yeah.
Of your opponent actually racing ahead on board. Lucky for him, there's nothing from Firebat this turn, so he will get to play his Shade, very slowly without worrying about a crazy Mirror Entity turn that the Mage holds on to for the rest of the game.
Yep. Okay, and not what Firebat wanted to cast there. He would have loved to add some more pressure on the board. He had the counterspell in his hand, but when you know that your opponent still has the coin remaining, there's not that much value in it.
Yeah, it also is a good tool to deny a combo, of course.
Oh yeah.
Counterspell looks okay now just because you have the Mana Worm up. And if he wants to coin out a 5-drop, that's not happening. And you're forcing him to play a Shredder, which he would have coined this turn perhaps if he had it. Well, you're also dodging swipe, for all that's worth.
It's not too bad for Thijs. Like that turn could have been a lot more scary from Firebat still. Like that coin, it's gonna get rid of the counterspell, and he can still swipe afterwards.
Yeah, what does Thijs think that secret is, though, right? That's the question, because he has no information as to what there is. He knows there's a counterspell, he saw it last game, but he doesn't know if there's something else.
And he knows there's effigy, but effigy wouldn't make any sense here because of the mana worm. Like, there's no way that.
Yeah, and he plays it
Firebat
super
gonna lay
well.
an effigy with a 1-man minion.
Yeah, he plays it super well too, because Savage War is the most useless card in his hand. You would think Coin is, but I think in this case you'd be wrong. I think by a long shot.
You might be right. I didn't think about it that way. It's just such an obvious thing to do to try to like use the coin on the counter spell. But you might be right because that getting especially that Ancient of War on turn 6, it might be a game-winning move.
I mean, Thijs has a pretty good late game. It's just getting there safely is proving to be a bit more difficult than you'd like. I know there's a lot of removal in Firebat's hand as well. You know, the Frostbolt with Flamewaker is likely. I mean, it's guaranteed to kill the Drake.
Yeah,
and
he already
he
has
pressure on the. Yeah, he's got more pressure on the board.
Right. Getting a couple of extra points of base. Sure, why not?
Ah, Wrath Swipe looks pretty appealing. I'd take that probably. Or
But
would
he
you
knows.
rather play
Oh, I don't know. I think Ancient of War might be it because he knows that there's no mirror entity.
Right, so it's the least risky turn to play a big minion.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
So yeah, so a big minion or Doctor Boom. That's bigger, I guess. It's like more pressure. He knows that he still has like fair bit of health, so not to worry. Ooh, well that's 12 more with the spell power. That's potentially like 14.
Yeah, actually, with one good Flamewaker hit, that's lethal.
I mean, yeah, he doesn't have the mana to cast both of them just yet.
Yeah.
But over 2 turns, like casting one now, pinging.
Never
That's
mind.
something that he could have like set it up, but I mean this makes kind of more sense.
Just smork it!
Whoa, what a boom bot!
Firebat's like, what is this game?
Wow, that is incredible.
Yeah. Why do I play Hearthstone? Firebat still doesn't know that, by the way. We're like 2 years into his career and he still doesn't know why he plays Hearthstone.
Is that so?
Yeah. It's pretty obvious from all the RNG. Yeah, 4 to face. Sounds about right. Get a 1-1. Oh, it's a lowly Squire. How compelling.
I'm wondering if there could have been like Gold Chair Footman or something, it would have been really annoying.
I mean, there's the Gold Chair Footman or the Tournament Attendee. Tournament Attendee, at least you can ping down. Is there another 1-cost taunt? I should know that. I think I should know that, of all people.
Make sure. BGH finding its target here.
Yeah,
Sweet.
and Thijs finding the full board clear.
Yeah. Innovating out the hero power. Obviously doesn't want to waste the 7 damage from the Dr. Boom on that. Getting it to face is so important. Just like that. Now suddenly Firebat is not looking so great anymore.
So your turn 10 could be... I mean, you could go right now for Flamewaker, Fireball, and Dr. Boom with an Arcane Missiles. I think that's probably your best bet, but you could try out the Desperate Ronin play, which I think is exactly what it is, desperate.
Yeah, it's pretty desperate. I don't think you can do it. He's too low on HP. Looking at 11 power,
Yeah.
it's so likely that he would just die next turn if he went for the running. Like, there's so many things that would finish him off.
I mean,
Like,
Force of Nature just kills you
Force of
straight up. Druid of the Claw almost finishes you off.
Oh, right. Actually, Swipe Hero Power and Druid of Claw Hero Power, those would be 1-off. That's true. So maybe there's not that many, just the Roar and
Yeah, and the
like
Force of Nature.
deeper Swipe. And,
Good call. Come on, tell me you're gonna kill this Firebat. Alright, there we go. Finally, Firebat gets something done. And he's got potential lethal next turn. Dice is probably just going to go for a Ancient of War.
Yeah, you can't really like imagine anything else here.
Yeah. Firebat with the Ronin play. Could you kill your own Ronin to do anything good? Ever? Oh man,
Oh,
that's
man.
really tempting though. Look at this. Look, he
So
can play
many spells.
all the spells in his hand
Yeah.
and then get... Yeah, I think that you have to do it. I think you have to do it.
Yeah. I think running it would be too late. I like this.
And here's the question, right? Here's the question. If you're not willing to play Ronin here, why is it in your deck?
Yeah, I don't like Ronin one bit, but I guess sometimes if you are like low on cards and late game, it's just like top decking thing, it's pretty good.
Good
It
for...
also makes your your Flame Waker kind of nice. But personally, I'm not a huge fan of Ronin. I just like every time I played it, I was kind of disappointed. It felt too slow. No, 8 mana for a card with no immediate impact and card that can get big game hunted. It just doesn't feel that great. And in the end, those arcane missiles, they're only 9 damage, and you can't even control it. I mean, not counting the potential for Flame Waker combos here, or Antivirus combos, but still.
So those Flame Wakers were really clutch there. I don't know if you saw it, but it finished off the Ancient War. It was just like crazy good. There's a chance that Thijs just has to go for a Force of Nature clear.
Ooh, it doesn't feel good though, because then he can't play a minion. It's so awkward on the mana. If he had 1 more mana, it would be an easy play with the Force of Nature and Piloted Shredder.
What about heal yourself? What about heal yourself and then Wrath the Doggy?
He might have to. I think he has to go for that. He needs to get a minion on board.
Okay, so we'll see if Thijs opts for the... I mean, at this stage, I imagine your health is too valuable to let it stay low.
Yeah, I mean, it's better to get a 5-5 on the board against the 2-4 than he needs to just like get a full clear. Like this leaves him with a better board still, and he does get the heal too. And I was like talking about how I don't like Ronin one bit, but in this situation right now, I mean, it's not looking so bad.
Savage Roar for Thijs would do a lot of work, but unfortunately for him, that is not it.
Yeah, it would have done lethal, I guess, but
yeah, it would, you know, casually, just a little bit of work, just win the game.
But right now, oh my, do you
I feel like you still have to go for that weird Force of Nature play with Keeper now.
So he could
yeah, everything is bad.
Like silence the Ronin.
The thing is, there's an Archmage in Firebat's hand, so he's like, if Ronin dies, I'm golden, man. Like, I am more than happy about this.
I'm trying to see like an aggressive line of play here, where he could potentially like set up lethal for next turn, just like kind of risk dying, because he's seen 2 fireballs. He's seen 1 or 2 frostbolts. There's like a lot of burn is gone.
Alright, he's still alive for now, it looks like it, and this is the aggressive line of play you were talking about. Does Firebat pick up a Frostbolt? And he does! Wow!
It's the exact card he needed.
To guarantee the seal, Firebat needs to pick up the Frostbolt, but you know what, that'll compensate for the Dread Steed that Thijs had earlier.
That's insane. I actually think that might have been the last card, or the only card in Firebat's deck remaining that gave him the lethal there. I like the line of play that Thijs chose to go there, but just like not trying too hard to clear the board, like not using the Force of Nature there, just improving his own board, but that Frostbolt, man, that Frostbolt.
Yeah, Firebat's out of his chair, probably going to grab a Red Bull or a beer, depending on the time of the day. He told me, or rather he told the stream, not me personally, why would he do that, that he actually woke up late, and he was stealing viewers from Imaz earlier.
Oh.
Yeah, he's gonna get fired. Fired Bat.
Fired Bat.
Yep.
I see what you did there.
So, Paladin left, and probably Patron. Again, still one of the coolest decks out there to play. If you expect to win, there's a good chance that Firebat's able to come back and just reverse sweep Thijs from this position, considering the decks that are up.
Yeah, if he has the control... Oh, there's the Wild Crow. That's what he was saving it for the Paladin. If the Warrior from Firebat is Control Warrior, I think he's gonna be in a lot of trouble. But Firebat is a very good Patron player too, so Patron is very likely.
He's also good at getting Divine Shields against Druids. Double mini bot, you know, a pretty good card. But there's a double swipe from Thijs. That's gonna help clean up the board very easily.
You're not in every matchup. You're not happy to see double swipe. You're just like, maybe just one is enough. But against the Paladin, both of those are going to be used.
Yeah, you're like, at some point, I'm gonna need them all. As Firebat's just going to continue to apply pressure. I mean, how do you even stop this as Druid once you get the critical mass of Divine Shields on the board?
Those swipes, man, those swipes. They better do a lot of work.
They have to. Coghammer might be what Firebat, you know, just seals the game for Firebat. Oh, never mind. I thought he was gonna play a little off curve and decide to go for the double mini bot.
That's really interesting. I guess he wants to be mana efficient, like that's the most important thing here. That's probably why he chose to go for this, but the buff from the Goghammer, it's not doing anything.
Yeah, that's why I thought he would hold on to it, but apparently he values curving out a little bit more in this case.
I would have been like really like leaning towards maybe just adding another minion to the board with like that sustainable damage and trying to find more value from the weapon, but but mana efficiency, that's also a good thing. And that weapon right now, it's gonna be quite good to deal with the Shredder.
Oh!
No way!
Well played.
No way!
Thijs is just... Yeah. Even Thijs feels disgusted by that Shredder.
Yeah.
There was a lot of RNG in these matches between Thijs and Firebat, right? Like, the Dreadsteed, and then the Arcane Fail Styles from Firebat that did nothing, and then Thijs just
I don't know, man.
doomsaying.
It's like a little bit too much for me. I don't know. That was not fair.
That was unlosable for Firebat.
Yeah, it was looking so good for Firebat, and just like that, he get like 1 out of 70 something. Oh man.
I mean, even Explosive Sheep was kind of fine.
That's brutal. I guess Firebat was just like not meant to win this game then.
Yeah, I think Firebat was meant to lose his entire series at this stage.
Seems so.
So full clear for Thijs, keep with the grove that Shredder, then Innervate Swipe, and you get a clean board. Firebat has only Mysterious Challenger to maybe swing back in, but Thijs also has the BGH to negate the Avenged buff on that count.
Even the Mysterious Challenge, it's like...
Yeah. I know how you feel, Savich, right now.
Just done here. Like, that Doomsayer got him like 4-0 or something, and just... I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, that was a little less awesome than I planned it to be. I mean, I wanted this series to go like five.
Yeah, we were talking about it. That this is the series we want to go go 5 games on. But our Jesus had a different opinion about how he wants it to go. So
yeah, definitely. That was a really fast series considering the players playing. Again, I expected a long, drawn out. Little RNG involved series between these two players, but then again, it's not over for Firebat. He's still going to be playing off against Cypher, which, incidentally, if Cypher wins against Firebat, that's going to be a pretty good momentum boost for him, because, Firebat being one of the sickest players out there, if you win against him, you always feel pretty good about your own performance. Maybe not if you get Doomsayers. I mean, Thijs himself is the first to say that he doesn't.
That's so brutal. That's like one of those things that makes you like wonder about the game, like when you play for money and stuff. It feels like it's like emotionally, it's pretty like pretty bad if you're on the losing end of that.
Yeah, and there's the fact that like it reminds me in Magic the Gathering when somebody gets a completely terrible mulligan. They have to mulligan down to 4. In a tournament setting, you're like, oh come on, just draw 7. Like, of course you'll always take the win if you can, because it's illegal to say draw 7, but you just feel like you don't deserve that win because you're like, wow, that shouldn't happen. In Hearthstone, I guess even pro players sometimes they get wins like this one, and if I ask Thijs, what do you think, he's gonna say that was unfair. Like that was just unfair.
Like Thijs is a player, he's feeling at least a little bit, even though it's like really ridiculous and like woo win, but he feels at least a little bit bad because he knows how it feels to be on the other end of things, and for Firebat it's so demoralizing. Like I don't even.
Savich doesn't even. That's how bad this is.
Yeah, like, I hope that Firebat gets his head together and just focus on the loser bracket. He's not out of the tournament yet. If he wins 2 of the next his next 2 matches, he's still in the tournament. And it doesn't matter how many Doomsayers there are. Like, simple stuff.
He'll be okay. So we'll be taking a 10 minutes break, guys. We'll be coming back with the winner's match. Is going to be Thijs versus Shtanudachi from Hellraisers. We'll see if Thijs can actually pull off another win against to guarantee that he's going to move on. If Shtanudachi loses, he will simply face off against the winner of the losers match, which is going to be either Cypher again or Firebat, who just lost now, but could still recover afterwards. So we'll be right back, guys, after the break. Don't go anywhere.
From east to west, heroes are sent, seeking glory in the greatest of events. There are knights on noble steeds, those who will bring them to their knees. There are monsters to test their mettle at every turn. Legends will rise based on their merits. There's even pirates riding parrots. It's the grand